Okay, here we have the second part in my MMA pound for pound series. This is the January 1st, 1994 edition. Even though it is pound for pound, you can essentially look at it as being like a power event because it's all open weight. In 1993, there was 5 events. The first 4 Pancrases and UFC 1. You can find all of these on UFC Fight Pass. I highly recommend it. It's definitely worth the $10 a month. And that's really the only place to see these without going through a bunch of hoops and whatnot. So if you take a look here at the 93 rankings, the pre-Pancrase 1 rankings to the 94 rankings, it's only been about 4 months. There's been 5 events, a lot of changes. Take a look. That's everyone's record on the right side now. Take a look. All right. Two notable changes. Hoist Gracie jumps to the number 1 spot after essentially dismantling Ken Shamrock in UFC 1. He looked great. We'll talk more about him in a second. And George Weingeroff and Katsuomi Inagaki, who were the former number 8 and number 10, they're bumped off. And Gerard Gordeau, who actually lost to Hoist Gracie at UFC 1, gets a spot because he was a pretty scary looking guy. He had some knockouts, and he well, we'll talk more later. All right. So number 1, this is the list. Number 1, Hoist Gracie. He's son of a legendary Vale Tudo fighter in Brazil, Helio Gracie, who obviously had to go research about him yourself. Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. He defeated 3 men in one night at UFC 1, including the number 10 in this spot, Gerard Gordeau, and former number 1 Ken Shamrock. He was hand selected by his father, and this is right here, but you see the same thing here, that a knowledgeable technical fighter goes out and notices someone else who's very knowledgeable and technical. He had a lot of fighters, but he chose Hoist for a reason. He was an extremely effective finisher, and he was only maybe 6'1", 190 to 200 pounds. But one of the reasons he made high on this list is he was a very good finisher, very strong finisher. Had the same kind of power that Ken Shamrock and Funaki had, but with technique. So, because he beats Ken Shamrock, who is the former number 1, he is the lineal champ, and he is 3-0. Number 2, Ken Shamrock. He gets 4 straight wins in Pancrase 1, 2, 3, and UFC 1. He gets 1 win that night, and then he loses to Hoist in the second round. After loss to Hoist, he still goes back and gets another win in Pancrase against someone, doesn't matter. He's still a relentless finisher. He has great physique, 5-1. Maybe Hoist was a fluke. And this is the question I always say, okay? Hoist had the quality, but did Shamrock have the quantity? Would Hoist Gracie excel under the same circumstances as Ken Shamrock? Alright, would he have done that? I don't know. Okay, number 3 is still Masakatsu Funaki. His only loss was to Ken Shamrock. Also, he beats Lushi Nagasawa, who is a number 7, and he beats Takahashi, who drops a lot, but still not a bad, basically, okay, he's basically still Ken Shamrock, but he's not Ken Shamrock. All right. Number 4, Minoru Suzuki, 3-0. All the things that he looked like he could do in the shoot style, it's all basically true. He still is a little small, I guess you could say, but he still shows the same technical skills. He doesn't beat really great people, but he does beat Inagaki and White, who they didn't just lay there, and he basically was just laying on top of them, okay? Number 5 is Boss Rutan. Boss Rutan would still be higher, but he's still unproven on the ground, and if you look at the 4 people above him, they all would basically take him to the ground and beat him at this point, right? It's pretty obvious. But that being said, he did devastatingly KO Takaku Fuki and Ryushi Nagasawa, and basically, I guess, if people if you knock out 2 of the people, it's going to be hard that you're going to be not more than halfway down. Okay, next, easy. Takaku Fuki, he's 2-2, but he only loses to Ken Shamrock and Boss Rutan. He beats White and Inagaki, just like Minoru Suzuki, but Minoru Suzuki still looks better. But Takaku Fuki is still kind of like a thug. All right, so he gets the number 6 spot. That's easy. Number 7, we have Lushi and Nagasawa. He goes 2-2. It's a bit of a disappointment. Same with Kazuo Takahashi here, so they're linked together. Uh, he does knock out number 9 in the list this time and last time, Vernon White, which is a saving grace, but he loses to Funaki and Rutan. And he's not, right? Basically could have done a little better. Kazuo Takahashi likewise. He only lost to Funaki and Shamrock, but his best win is over George Weigeroff, who we talked about in the first one. I talked about in the first one, and he was only given the number 10 spot basically because he was the 10th man. And I don't know. He's not doing too great, but he still looks really scary. All right, so he's number 8. Number 9 is Vernon White. Vernon White skates by his work ethic, as always, and he's number 9. And this is based on all fights he had in Pancrase. You could tell, I don't know why he wanted to be a grappler or whatever, but he was like fucking relentless. So he went 1-3, and the reason he stays on this list basically is because he beats Katsuomi Inagaki, who's not a terrible fighter. He just had hard competition in Pancrase. And Vernon White still struggles on the ground against the competition, but he's a hard worker, and that's why he gets the spot. I don't know if he actually does show improvement. I wrote that there, but he definitely, I don't know, if you do something long enough, you're going to get better. And he's sticking around. And then number 10, I think you got to give number 10 to is either Katsuomi Inagaki or Gerard Cordeau. See, Katsuomi, I think he only won one fight in Pancrase, and he has the same record as Vernon White, but he lost to Vernon White. And Gerard Gordeau went 2-1 in UFC 1. Wasn't a total shove on the ground. He did last longer than Ken Shamrock. Okay, he was 6'5", like 100 kilograms. He was freaking huge. He was a very scary looking man. All right, and he had 2 KOs that night. So similar in the same vein to Boss Root in that if you knock people out, wrestlers don't necessarily do good against you. Here's some extras. Katsuo Minagaki, Kevin Rozier, and Zane Frazier at UFC 1. Pat Smith lost to Ken Shamrock at UFC 1, but he was alright. So let's just go back in the beginning and look at the list again here. And we have Royce Gracie, 3-0. Shamrock, 5-1. Masakatsu Funaki, 3-1. Number 4, Minoru Suzuki, 3-0. Number 5, Boss Rutan, 2-0. Number 6, Takaku Fuki, 2-2. Number 7, Lushi Nagasawa, 2-2. Number 8, Kazuo Takahashi, 2-2. Number 9, Vernon White, 1-3. Number 10, Gerard Gordeau, 2-1. That concludes the 94 pound for pound power rankings of MMA, January 1st, 1994.